Hello my friends, Ahsoka here, and for today's review we're going to look at the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Dark Knight's Metal, the Murder Machine. So this is kind of the last figure in my series of reviews of this latest wave, this upcoming wave that hits in September of the Mcfarlane Toys Dark Knight's Metal wave. So first of all, thank you to my friends at Mcfarlane Toys for sending me these figures for review. It's been an absolute pleasure reviewing these figures. I've really enjoyed them, as you can tell from my reviews. I think they've done a spectacular job on all the figures so far. We've had the Grim Knight, the Dawnbreaker, Devastator, and now we're rounding it off with the Murder Machine. So yeah, these are just all beautiful figures, which I'll get into in a minute. For those of you watching, if you want to see more pictures of these figures, head on over to Instagram and look up Ahsoka the Geek. I will be posting a lot more pictures of these figures with other figures, comparison shots, and just an obnoxious amount of more content on these figures on my Instagram page. So feel free to check out my Instagram page for more pictures. But yeah, let's get into it. So the final figure I'm looking at from this wave is the Murder Machine. Now, people have been asking me which figure is my favorite out of this wave, and it's really hard to say. I think I still have a fondness for the Grim Knight, just because it's such a badass looking figure, but I love the Dawnbreaker, Devastator, and even the Murder Machine. I love this figure as well. I think one of the really cool things about this wave is that the diversity of these figures. Obviously, they're all versions of Batman, but they're all really distinct characters and design, so it's hard to pick a favorite because they're so different and so awesome in different ways. So anyways, let's take a look at the Murder Machine. So the Murder Machine is a combination of Cyborg and Batman. That's some of the character's backstory. So the first thing I love about this figure is just the design, this very minimalistic design of the figure. It's a very simple figure, but I love the colors that they've used, the blue and the orange, and where they've used them on the figure. You know, again, it's minimalistic, so it's mainly black, the body, this black kind of gray look to it, but where they do use color, it works really well. So I like it there, and I love like the little details here on the shoulder pads, and the back of it even has some color as well. So and then yeah, it just looks awesome. And then I said and then twice now. It also comes with an extra hand. So this is the kind of cybernetic hand that it comes with. It also does come with a regular hand here, which you can attach. So I'm just keeping the cybernetic hand attached just because it looks so cool. Kind of reminds me of Justice League Unlimited. There's that episode, well, it's kind of like the finale of Justice League Unlimited, or the second or first season, with Brainiac and Luthor, and they are merged together. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but yeah, that's what this cybernetic hand reminds me of. So it's just a really cool hand. I love it. He also comes with his card as well, his trading card, which, as I've mentioned in all my other reviews, I've really grown to love these cards. I use them for bookmarks and other things, but yeah, there's the card. So yeah, it's a really nice card, just like all the other ones. So the figure itself, again, the sculpt's awesome, the detail's great, and this one actually has the most range when it comes to his head. So let me try to zoom in a little bit there. And what I mean by that is you can really turn his head around quite a bit. So as you can see, you could turn him around basically 360 degrees, and then he looks up. He looks down, looks really down, really up. So yeah, the head has a ton of movement to it. The other figures, not so much. The Grim Knight, Dawnbreaker, and Devastator didn't have as much movement in their heads. So it's really nice that this one does. And I think it works because of the sleekness of its design allowed them to have more movement in the head. With the other figures, you know, Devastator has protrusions on him coming out of him. Dawnbreaker has equipment around his head. The Grim Knight has kind of a scarf around his head, so it's harder to allow that sort of range of motion. So it totally works for the figure, and I think that's a great example of how, you know, they do the articulation, in my opinion, that makes the most sense for the figure. They don't try to force it. On the Murder Machine here, there isn't anything around his neck that would prohibit head movement, so they gave him a lot of head movement. On the other figures, though, that was not the case, so it doesn't move as much. So I'm always a fan of the design of the figure versus articulation. I would rather have less articulation and have the figure look more sculpted and more accurate to the source material, or just more focused on the design versus kind of articulation that doesn't make sense for the figure. So with that being said, the articulation on this guy is great. The head movement's awesome. You can also move the arms and the legs. Pretty typical Mcfarlane articulation here. Nice. There you go. He's got his toe articulation. Should probably go back a little bit here. So you got the ab crunch, and then this middle piece here is sort of a soft goods. Right there. So this is a little bit softer than the rest of the figure, the plastic. But yeah, so everything moves around really nicely. Even the shoulder pads. Oops, sorry, that got really bad there. There we go. Even the shoulder pads are like a softer plastic. So again, you get really good articulation all around with this figure. And I really love the head. Look at that head. It looks like a I guess a cyborg Batman, but also like sort of a robot Batman. Kind of gives me like a Terminator 2 vibe, a little bit as well. So just, the design is just fantastic on this figure. And there he is right there. Let's just get a little bit him back in focus. So you can make some really fun, cool poses with the murder machine. So let's just have him stand next to his comrades here. So let's bring in the Devastator, and then let's also bring in Dawnbreaker. I'm trying to be very delicate here so these guys don't fall over. And there you go. You get a nice view of all of them together with some other figures in the background. So yeah, he looks amazing. He, again, an awesome minimalistic design, great head articulation. It's a really fun figure, a beautiful figure, and Mcfarlane, just like these other figures, did a great job. Some flaws I'll point out. The first flaw is that this is not available to everyone yet. I've been super fortunate and lucky to get these in advance. I really wish that you guys could have these right now as well. So that's a huge flaw in my opinion. I wish these were available to everyone right now. Other flaws, I wish they made 100 of these Metals figures or DC figures. Mcfarlane is just killing it with the design and sculpt of these latest figures, and I just wish he could crank out more. But I guess quality takes time, and I'd rather them release fewer figures with this level of quality. So I'm totally fine with that. So those aren't really flaws. Those are just jokes. But Mcfarlane has done a fantastic job with these figures. I can't wait for the next waves to hit. And what else they have in the future, I'm really excited about. These figures will be hitting in September of 2020. So maybe if you're watching this like 2 years from now, these are already have been released, and hopefully they're not too much on the secondary market by then. So yeah, if you haven't ordered these yet, they are, I think, available on the Walmart site for pre-order. They will hit Walmart first and then be available at other stores. But yeah, highly recommend these figures. Again, they're beautifully designed, sculpted, executed figures, and that's really all I got to say about these guys. They're awesome. So thank you so much for watching this review, and I really appreciate your support. Again, head on over to Instagram, look up Ahsoka the Geek if you want to see more pictures over the next coming days and weeks. And thank you all, and you guys have a great day. Take care.